Trent, looking back the beginning of this season,
Yeah.
how frustrating was having to go out early, and can you just talk about your way and the way that you went through that?
Yeah, I mean, going out the first game's always pretty frustrating and pretty disheartening because, you know, you have all these goals and you have this plan that you set in place and it doesn't go that way. But I was able to kind of just take a step back, work really well with the trainers, work really well with the coaches, and kind of set this system where it was almost like I was going to play every week, but then just sit out the game. So I kind of kept this system of let's just keep this going so that when I did come back, it wasn't anything short of just what I was already doing. So just creating a system and just being able to stick to that, staying disciplined was the biggest thing for me to be able to come back the way I am now.
What do you think was most valuable, a part of trying to stay disciplined during that time?
Honestly, I think it was patience. I was always, you know, trying to come back quick, but, you know, my body said not yet. So being patient and finally just listening to my body, listening to my support system, my family, and just hearing everybody just tell me, you know, it's okay to take your time, it's okay to really let it heal because it is a long season and I do have to look towards the future. So I think a big part of it was just the patience and just saying, okay, yeah, let me just keep working on it and not try to just fight back so much and end up re-injuring it.
Did you think that you were back to practice? Were you fighting to play, and did they have to back you off, or were you just sort of following, like, were you on board with that?
It was a little bit of both. It was more like going to practice if I can play, you know, let me go out there and do it. But, I mean, as it played out, I wasn't ready, which is okay to me because I am here now, and I feel like my leg is definitely 100% healed.
After you got those live reps, how are you feeling now?
Yeah, I think honestly a big thing was just the confidence. You know, going back, you always like, you can't really get a traditional game-like rep until you really do it. So being able to go out here and play the full game and just being confident and knowing my teammates trust me now and that I still am sharp with it was big for me.
Was this the first injury like that you've had?
Yeah, actually it is, like, at least the longest that I've had to sit out. So working through that was a little different, and I mean, it was a learning process for me, just how to maneuver through things and how to focus and not just sit back and say, okay, I'm injured, let me just pout. You know, really trying to stay focused and really try to stay on top of everything, even though I'm not playing, which was tough. But
What stands out about Trevor Lawrence when you watch him on the field?
yeah, I mean, he has a strong arm. You know, he's somebody who can put the ball anywhere. He's really good in the pocket. He's pretty elusive, so, you know, you just gonna have to bring him down. He's one of those guys who, you know, he might not slide. You know, he might run through the contact to get a few extra yards. So just being conscious of that and just knowing that we got to just move him off the spot and be able to make plays when they come to us.
Trent, what do you most play on the outside? You don't often get matched up one-on-one with the tight end. Can you just kind of walk us through that play?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I break down everybody before the game. So, you know, I know their strengths, weaknesses, whatnot. So when Hooper came on me, I mean, I kind of knew what he was doing. I knew the kind of routes that he was going to run. You know, tight end's not going to run every route a receiver does. So kind of limiting him to the certain routes I thought he was going to do, and then honestly just using my speed. I mean, he's bigger than me, so I have to make up for it with my athleticism and my speed and just knowing how to play DB. So that's what I focused on, and that's how I was able to make the play.
Trent, what are you most satisfied with in the performance on Sunday, and what information can you take from that game now that you've had a full NFL game?
Yeah. I think a big thing for me, honestly, was just make sure I went out there and just did my job correctly. You know, I haven't been with the team. You know, I haven't been in the lingo, in actual game rep practices. So being able to go out there and just be sharp with it, you know, make all the correct calls, make sure everybody was doing everything correct was, for me, good because, you know, I haven't had that, like I said. And on top of that, I think just going back to learn from just little things in my technique, hand placement, thing like that as a DB. But I think the overall is just being able to just leave my all out there. I always say I wanted to be that flash player and make every play like it's my last. So just being able to do that consistently for however many plays you do is going to be something I'm big at.
When you were down, what did it mean to you to see Jalen emerge the way that he did?
Yeah, I mean, it's always huge when you can see another rookie, you know, who's come in, who's gone through the same process as you, go out there and make plays in a big stage. I mean, we're always together. We're in the same room. So, I mean, I had confidence in him. I had confidence in Josh Williams. Like, anybody goes out there, we're all in the same room. We all hear the same lingo. We all taught the same thing. So there's a big confidence in knowing that, yeah, even if I go down, if somebody else goes down, the next person up is going to be able to do their job.
Trent, what was your reaction to the Fenton trade, and how much did you see the club then putting their faith in you when your body was ready?
Yeah, I mean, it's always a disappointment seeing somebody go. We always called him Uncle Fent because it was like just that dude who, you know, taught all the DBs, and it was just Uncle out there. So he was one of those dudes who I looked up to, who really taught me this system, how to play DB in here. So seeing him leave, it was disappointing, but I mean, I know he's going to do great over there in Atlanta, and I'm excited for his journey. But I mean, it comes back to us and just seeing the coaches have full faith in the rookies and just knowing that we got to go out there and now we got to produce. You know, we got to give them the same way that they look at us. We got to give it back to them. You know, we got to make sure that we're accountable and that they can trust us out there each and every play.
I'm sure when you got drafted, Trent, that you started envisioning playing in Arrowhead.
Yeah.
Maybe in primetime settings like Sunday.
Yeah.
Just how much did reality match or different from what you had envisioned?
Yeah, I mean, I was able to be on the sideline, thankfully, during some of those big games, like the Chargers game and the Raiders game. So I knew the crowd was loud. You know, I'd be on the sideline. I couldn't talk to my friend on the sideline. So being on the field, I already went in knowing that I wasn't going to be able to hear anybody. So, I mean, it's just so much. I feel like it just brings so much more energy to the game when the crowd is like that. So just being able to go out there and play in front of them finally and just complete a full game was really fun for me.
Last question. Expanding on that a little more, just from the
Yeah.
standpoint of being in a game like that,
Yeah.
a battle testing, a very physical game that could have gone any which way, seeing your Chiefs
Yeah.
and how they responded, what they did, as a young player, I mean, did that just give you a new sense of pride? Did that give you a new, I'm gonna step up because this is the way they do this and they're successful? What was going through you when you saw what your team overall could do?
Yeah, I think honestly, even just coming in here right after the draft, you kind of understood that there was a standard that was set. And I mean, through the season, ups and downs, you kind of understand that everybody kept that standard. But now playing in it, being a part of it, seeing how people are, you know, the emotions running high, and everybody kind of just locking in, just taking a step back and going, let's just do our job. For me, it was almost relieving. It was like, as a young dude who doesn't know anything, hasn't played in an overtime game in the NFL, just seeing the guys relaxed, composed, helped me to stay that way. And so, I mean, big thanks to them for the leaders on our team to kind of just rally everybody together. That really showed me that our team is really tight bonded and, you know, we're really sticking together. So it was awesome.
Thank you, guys.
Appreciate it, y'all. Thank you.